You kind of down in humble beat. You did. We finna go in our bag on this one. Vibe with us. Anybody on the block, we gon' bring it to your door like knock. Entrepreneurs got the keys to the lockbox. On the road, we will not stop. Going in.
Great day, another day, another opportunity. Super excited as always. Great people. I want to welcome everyone to episode 10, Laws of Wealth Creation and Asset Protection, here with a Rich Education podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you. Good morning, good evening, good night. I'm not sure where you are viewing this information from, but I'm so excited, and I always got to open up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with great day, another opportunity. And as always, I'm blessed. I can't thank God enough for the opportunity to bring fire. I'm going to have to call the fire department because I got a fireball that's coming on. And I mean, it's just been a blessing because, hey, you never know until you ask. When you ask for people's time, because time is your brain is the most valuable asset you have. But after that is time. And when you get a person's time to come on and spend some time with you to bring information, ladies and gentlemen, that's powerful. People that's been in the game for years, that's laid law, that has blueprints, that has a track record of success. And that success is coming from helping so many people. So with that being said, I want to bring to the platform this evening, this morning, I'm not sure. It may be late night where you're looking at this from, but Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. Oh my God, sir. Can you hear me loud and clear, sir?
I hear you fine, Mr. Sanya. Can you hear me okay, sir?
I hear you loud and clear. You're looking sharp as always. And I won't forget the day that we met, even though I don't really go to that store anymore. So much has changed because it's been so long. Time flies, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. And I mean, we met. And at that day we actually met before that, but I got a chance to bump into you, not knowing at that time that we were from the same area. But you blessed me. Being Amazon #1 best-selling author, you blessed me being an author of this book, The Art and Science of Success. And sir, the journey of being connected to you, being mentored and coached by you has been going on and on for years, sir. So I'm excited to have you here. And how are you doing today, sir?
Oh, man, I'm blessed and highly favored, living the best day of my life. I'm getting better every single moment, and the best is yet to come, brother. I'm beautiful. My name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. So things are good for me, brother.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so absolutely, man. And I'm so grateful to have you here. I don't want to belittle the time because, like I spoke and mentioned, that time is so valuable. I know how busy you are. You have a tremendous team. I mean, you're constantly working, and we've been working, I think, for almost over a month to try to make this happen, and we finally getting it done this evening. So I want to dive right into this because we're going to have a powerful stream. I'm not sure how long this can go because coming from such a brilliant and intelligent mind from a gentleman who's been having success for so many, I'm saying since the 90s, when .com and all these things were taking place, you were the head of networking, building teams, helping people globally. And so your just knowledge is just amazing and tremendous. And I want to open it up with this, sir. Your journey as an international wealth accumulation strategist and best-selling author, like I mentioned, is truly inspiring. Could you share the pivotal moments or lessons that steered you towards a path of empowering others with wealth creation and asset protection?
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, first of all, let me thank you for having me on here tonight. I really appreciate being on your podcast. I've seen you do some tremendous things and help so many people so for such a long time, and you always bring the content, man. And what I love about you, one of the most, Mr. Sanya, is you're a man of integrity, and you're a person who really is about educating and financial literacy for other folks to help them. So I appreciate you for following your journey. And again, thank you for the kind words about me. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
my story, yes, sir. My story is one real simply. Actually, I grew up in the nation's capital, Washington D.C., and there were a bunch of government workers. A lot of people got the good government jobs working here in this town, working in D.C. And what I noticed, even as a young kid, though, is that even though people seem to have their jobs and their careers, and had these titles and those kinds of things, I noticed that they were all still really working for the weekends, and no one was really, really just kind of leisurely about it. And at the same time, I do know that there were people that were going to the golf courses every day. There were people on their yachts every day. And I was like trying to figure out, okay, what are they doing that's different than what these other folks, these hardworking folks are doing? And so I went on to, I knew to do like everyone said to do. I went to school, got a great, academic education
Yes, sir.
in the system, and went on to do college, undergrad and grad school, and went on and ended up getting a master's degree in international affairs and development, international business marketing. So I did all the academic side of things, but the real turning point of my life happened in undergrad. Excuse me.
Yes,
When
sir.
I didn't, I went to school to be a political scientist, and the reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to change the world. I wanted to change policy and help people and all those kinds of things. And at the time that I was in school, we had I had professors that were literally best friends with Desmond Tutu, and at the time, and President Nelson Mandela. At the time, he was in prison, but this during apartheid. And these brilliant professors that I had would have been probably assassinated had they gone back to South Africa at the time.
Yes, sir.
And so I was studying under them, and I saw a celebrity appear on one of these cable shows, one of these cable news shows at the time. And they were speaking at John F. Kennedy School of Political Science up at Harvard. And it was an entertainer, right? Who shall remain nameless. But they were a famous singer, movie star, etc. And they were out there talking about apartheid and international affairs. And I literally got offended because I was like, who is this person to be speaking on these issues when I have these brilliant minds here?
Yes, sir.
College at the Link University in Pennsylvania, first historically Black college university. Anyway, and I was expressing my frustration to my mentor at the time, and he said to me, he said, if you really want to make a difference, there's 3 ways you do that. One is you can become wealthy, you can become famous, or do both. He said, that's how you really change policy. It gives you a platform. And so at that moment, I decided that I wanted to go ahead and become wealthy because I realized I could impact policy and communities a lot more if I was just coming from a standpoint of wealth and power as opposed to being in somebody's pocket as a politician. So
Yes, sir.
that's how I got the journey of getting into wealth accumulation.
Wow, what a great journey. And it seems like the mindset clicked in, understanding the difference between being an earner and being a wage earner and being a wealth creator, because it's a completely different mindset, different approach. And there's nothing wrong with earning, but in this type of economy that we're in now, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, I think that a lot of people, it's a must that we have to shift the mindset over to building wealth, because we have a choice in today's economy to be either rich or poor. Laws of wealth creation can vary based on individuals' circumstances. How do you tailor your strategies to suit different clients, considering their unique financial goals and situations?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. The reason that's a great question is because although everybody has uh, different goals that they're trying to obtain, you have to customize a plan for anybody. And let me go ahead and say this: I don't give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is the disclaimer. I'm not certified a financial planner. This isn't investment advice. I've just helped people over the years uh, to accomplish their goals by just simply looking at some some principles that apply across the board that I've used to help myself and other people have success. So now that's out the way. Um, I wanted to comment on two things. The first thing I wanted to comment on is I think it's absolutely necessary to be wealthy, as you said, because if you don't get wealthy, you put yourself in jeopardy at being under the control of other people, other folks, other things. You start doing things that you wouldn't normally do if you weren't in a desperate situation. If you don't get control of your money would get control of you. So you have to understand it's a mindset, and I think it's irresponsible not to create and generate wealth. Scripture says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Unfortunately, for those individuals that say they just want to have enough for them and their families, well, if you have enough for you and your family, you're not going to have enough for your children's children. So I want you to really question, and I want you to just kind of think about what your goals are. Let's go ahead and get you focused on getting wealthy. All right. So how do we do it? Basically, when I meet an individual, when I meet a family and I'm doing some consulting, we talk about what their goals are, the way they look at their money, their assets, the way they decide, how they hold it, what their mentality is, and what their goals are. Some people just want to get out of debt because that's all they've been taught. Debt is bad. Get out of debt, right? There's some folks who understand cash is king. Just use cash. That's all you need to do. Some folks believe in using leverage. You're using credit as opposed to, I'm not going to say debt but it is debt. But I like to look at that kind of debt as credit to leverage and to build your wealth. So it basically comes down to us having a conversation, just like in any other thing. You can't advise someone until you know what their goals are, right? So I'll try to get to know what the person is looking for, what they're trying to do, and then together we customize a plan and strategy that works for them. See what their risk tolerance is, all those things.
Facts. Good explanation, man, because in today's time, along with some of the key things that we've been talking about, financial education is a life jacket for people. But with all due respect to financial advisors, never putting them down, but it seems that all of the ramifications that's been taking place since the .com up to 2008, it doesn't seem like many of the financial advisors and the advice that people are getting because of the certificate that sits behind them on the wall at their desk, it seems that they're leading people into a situation that's not too good, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. And I'm just speaking from what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? It's not talking about anyone in a negative sense, but it seems that because you have financial education, you have financial advice for the rich, and you have financial advice for the poor middle class. And in today's time, it's not hard to do what wealthy people do. It's very simple. And I know you're going to dive into that information. In your book, you emphasize the importance of understanding the why behind wealth creation. Could you elaborate on this and explain how defining one's why impacts the journey on financial success?
Again, it goes back to your core values. What's important to you, and we kind of discover what that why is when we do our consultation. But for someone, if a person doesn't believe that they need to make a change or they need to do something different, then they're not going to take the right steps to get there. And usually it's not until a person identifies why they're doing what they're doing. Like, for instance, in my situation, it was because I really wanted to make a change in the community. And I found this to be a way to do it because I could kind of direct and guide people into understanding that if you get control of your own personal economy, and then you have a community where you come together and you get together with some group economics and you have control over that impacts your entire way of life. Now you have decision making on what kind of foods are going to be shipped into the groceries, into the area, the stores there, who gets jobs, who gets contracts. We can even get into who sits in those benches as judges and those kinds of things. But it all starts from first having a strong economic base of where you need to go, what you're trying to do. And then that can determine your entire lifestyle, the way you live your life. And that's what it's really all about. For me, it isn't about material things at all. In fact, I don't really care about stuff much, but I really enjoy a lifestyle, being able to take care of loved ones and being able to spend time with loved ones and to not have to ask another person for permission to go see a loved one or to take some time for a mental break. You know, those things, when you hit those are the things that make me be so focused on becoming wealthy, because my why is I want a lifestyle. I want a particular lifestyle that allows me to volunteer where I want to, you know, those kind of things. So that's why it's important. You know, I don't think that you can, you know, personally, it's been my experience in sports and anything else that until you have something bigger than you, you know, you can't win the championship until something bigger than you, right? It has to be about the team, about the community, about your lifestyle, about your family, you know, all the things that dads do. You know, you're a dad, I'm a dad. You know, things we literally put our lives on the line every day. We sacrifice for our children, especially our girls. You know, us girl dads. You know,
absolutely.
But yeah. So no, but that's why why matters, because if you don't have your why, you know, you'll do something temporarily, but for the long term. I don't like using the term long haul. It sounds terrible.
right.
But for your overall objective, you know, if it's just about your comfort, you know, sometimes you might say, I'm not going to work out. Let me just sit over here and eat this fruit. At least I'm eating fruit. Yeah, no, that's not that works.
Facts. Absolutely, Dr. Rozzelle. And this has been great words for this portion of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Laws of Wealth Creation and Asset Protection with Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. We're going to take a 30-second infomercial break. But before we do that, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, it's just very important for those that are listening and anyone that's viewing this information on Facebook. You may be watching this on LinkedIn. I'm not sure where you're watching it, but if you're on YouTube or on other platforms, please shift over to YouTube, okay, and like and subscribe. Leave a comment. I want you to let me know what your thoughts are and what you like best about the information that you're receiving this evening. But Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, is sharing so much value this evening. It's very important that we have a choice in today's time, because unless we're sleeping up under a rock and we're not seeing all the things that are taking place, we have a choice to create wealth, or we're going to have to go down with the old obsolete information. And today's platform this evening, once again, ladies and gentlemen, episode 10, Laws of Wealth Creation, Asset Protection with Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. You have all your answers and guide right here. So we're going to take a 30-second infomercial break, and we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome everyone back to A Rich Education Podcast, episode 10, Laws of Wealth Creation and Asset Protection with our great Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. And we're just having a ball here this evening, this morning, tonight. I'm not sure, once again, where you're watching this from, but ladies and gentlemen, it's important with these podcasts that I've been bringing to us that we pay close attention and not just look at this as entertainment, not just look at this information like it's, something to just go through one ear and out the other. We want to take this information, absorb it, and move, even with the songs that I'm opening and closing with. pay attention to them songs, because those songs have good beats, but they also have good messages, ladies and gentlemen. So it's important to not just take this information, because we're not in a time today to be playing any games. I'm not saying that we're going to sit around and bite our nails and be afraid of what's happening around us. No, we want to move with faith. We want to move with the support and protection of God. But we don't want to take this information lightly that we're receiving, because it's not entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. This is information coming here on a Rich Education podcast that's going to be information relevant to the times that we're living in, and also information that can change your life. But I can only lead you to the water if you're not thirsty for wealth, if you're not thirsty for asset protection, if you're not thirsty for better health, if you're not thirsty to be an entrepreneur, be financially free man or woman, if you're not thirsty for these things, I cannot make you drink the water. And it's just been, I can say, better than just an opportunity. It's just been a blessing. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring our great brother, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, back to the platform. And, I've been thinking about this during the break, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. I wanted to ask you this: balancing entrepreneurship with personal responsibilities, because we all have them, can be challenging. How have your personal experiences shaped your approach to wealth creation? And what strategies do you use to manage your responsibilities effectively while pursuing financial success?
That's a great question. Dan, the funny thing is, our book, we were three-time number one best-selling on Amazon. And one of the areas was work-life balance. And to address that question, we're going to talk about, we're going to get into it, because wealth creation itself calls for you to have a work-life balance. And what I mean by that is, people, the way you get your money is way more important than how much you get. I'm going to say that again. The way you get your money is way more important than how much you get. And the reason I say that is because we've seen time and time again, people who are high earners lose everything, right? I'm not picking on any athletes or anybody, but these are high earners. And, we have a statistic that shows some really high numbers, something like 80%, I think, of folks, after they leave the NFL, they end up, 5 years later, they're bankrupt, something to that effect. I don't know the exact numbers. I'm not picking on athletes, but this is anybody. This is anybody that is out here making high income, but they're not creating wealth. If they're not putting together the top 10 irrefutable laws of wealth, and then there's some more even, then they're going to, they might create riches and income, but wealth is sustaining, right? So work-life balance is this. My personal definition of wealth is to have enough income producing assets to allow you to live the lifestyle that you want to live without having to trade your time for money at a job, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what that means is that by that sheer definition shows you that you have more of a work-life balance. And I'm gonna tell you the way it works. The way I managed to do it, and the way I teach my clients to do it, is we utilize the irrefutable laws of wealth, the top 10 irrefutable laws of wealth, most importantly, asset leveraging, right? And then passive residual income. So, we always heard Robert Kiyosaki says, the rich don't work for money. That's true.
Facts.
Right?
Yes, sir.
The truth is you get acquired assets, right? So it goes like this. You have cash, you get assets that create cash flow. And then you keep that cycle going. So to answer the question in the short way is it's all about setting up a system whereby you acquire your assets, your cash flow, as opposed to trading time for money, because there's only so many hours in the day.
Yes,
so
sir.
You have to create systems in place that allow you to do some asset leveraging. Whereas if you only have 40 hours a week to work, well, if you have 100 people working with you who also have 40 hours a week, now you can somehow leverage that. So now instead of just your 40 hours, now you get your 40 hours times 100.
Yes, sir.
But J. Paul Getty said he'd rather make 1% off of 100 people, efforts than 100% off his own efforts. And
Facts.
at the time he said that, he was the wealthiest man in this country. So that's it. It really comes down to utilizing these principles that we weren't taught in school, utilizing principles that the wealthy have used, the strategies that they've used for centuries. That's the only way that you can get your work-life balance in place. It's not.
And why do you think, good teaching, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, why do you think that this is not taught in school? Because I always emphasize that, and people hear it, but I think, with all due respect, people take that as some kind of joke. And I understand where we've been put at as people because of the school system and the damage that the school system does to the brain. But why do you think that this type of language in education is not put into the public school systems?
Well, the school system was set up by Robert Barron's. You're talking about the father of the school system is Rockefeller. And the school system was set up. These are all facts, by the way, guys. So if you're watching this, you can go look it up.
Excuse me.
It was never meant for people to get educated. It was always meant to have a workforce. That was the whole purpose, and to have people sit in straight rows, to move between these hours and these hours, to move when if somebody rang a bell. It's set up the exact same way it's set up in the prison system. You're in line, walking down hallways, you're in line up against the wall as a kid. You're told when you can eat, when you can go to the restroom, when you can have recess.
Wow.
The short answer is, in my humble opinion, that according to the reason what Rockefeller said was he doesn't want a country of thinkers. He wants a country of workers.
Yes, sir.
So,
wow.
That's why, in my humble opinion, the educational system is set up in such a way where it doesn't teach you about money, because you're not supposed to ever learn about money. You're supposed to learn about how to be a good worker and go out here and make the people that understand money, make them wealthy, not yourself.
Wow, brother. Wow. And we hear this. Wow. That's good teaching. And you just opened up the door for so much more on this conversation, because we hear this, but once you understand the Rockefellers and the team that they've built to put curriculums together, and that legacy continues on, but the damaging of the mind. So we have individuals who have mastered how to manipulate the minds. You just said it. The jail system is the same as the school system, and the school system is the same as the job. So they're all three together. So the wealthy run all three of them. We're talking about the 1%, the evil wealthy, not the ones like Mr. Robert Kiyosaki and those who teach the education, but the other ones who control the school system. So we hear this, and we see that their systems are falling. We see that today I saw an article where Rite Aid has filed bankruptcy. So we see jobs going away. So I think it's mandatory that we have to learn to do for self. So the information, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, that you're bringing to us today on wealth creation is vital. Asset protection. Oh man, this question, I couldn't wait to give you this question. Asset protection is a critical aspect of financial planning. What are some common misconceptions people have about safeguarding their assets, and what key principles should one adhere to in this realm?
All right, that's a really good question as well, and it's actually a loaded question. So here's the situation, right? First of all, people have to have the right relationship with what money is. So there's a difference between actual money and a debt instrument, right? Debt. So first of all, people have to understand, they have to go all the way back to when the Federal Reserve was instituted. That can kind of put things in perspective, right? And then if you fast forward to where we are today, when Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, August 15th, 1971, that literally changed the way the world viewed money at that point. At that point, our fiat currency just became a dead note that was backed by nothing.
Mm.
Right? So it's backed by nothing because it used to be attached to gold, right? Gold, which is God's money. Then it was attached to nothing, except for that. Let me put a little disclaimer out here. Then we had the petrodollar, right? Where the U.S. had the arrangement with OPEC nations, Saudi Arabia and OPEC nations. And of course, we could go all the way up to what just happened recently this year, where the Saudis decided to end that relationship of the petrodollar, of only being able to purchase oil utilizing U.S. dollar, making the U.S. the most powerful nation on earth at the time.
Right.
All that has changed because Saudi Arabia has, because of some things that happened in the U.S., because of this administration, with some things that we've done now, some changes we've made, the Saudis are no longer they've teamed up with China and BRICS nations and Russia, and it's very interesting what's going on here. But to come back full circle, right?
Right.
To protect first of all, you have to understand what money is, right?
Facts.
And understand that gold is in fact real money, is God's money. A quarter of the world's supply of gold is in the New York Federal Reserve Bank, under the vault in the New York Federal Reserve. That only 1% of the entire world has even actually touched or owned 24 karat gold. And that 1% includes all the wealthy families, all the royal kingdoms, and of course, all the nations, and all the Federal Reserve banks, all the central banks all around the world. They all acquire gold. They all, in fact, they've gotten more gold in the last year than they've ever done at any time in history.
Wow.
That tells you something, that while this is going on, this isn't all over the news. Hey, everybody, get gold. The Federal Reserve Bank just increased their purchase of gold this year. That happens, and because that's not only the wealthy people operate in that sphere of dealing with where real money is. So one safeguard protection would be to actually have gold, to actually have really gold and silver. This is money. And if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Okay.
Facts.
At any time, some of the myths out there that people think that it's safe to just put your money into some paper, some kind of paper, right? And I'm trying to be careful here because we know there are people out here, the financial advisors who there are a lot of well-meaning ones out there.
Yeah, they mean well, but they're not teaching well.
What do they say? What's the old saying? The hell is full of people with good intentions, or something like that.
Oh, so wow.
The reality is that they're really salesmen. They literally are being taught to sell their products.
And there's nothing wrong with being a salesman, but when you run in people's lives, that's not a good deal.
Right. So yeah, definitely not, talking bad about salesmen, but they can only advise you to buy their products. They're not going to advise you to do something that could really work for you. And then they're not going to tell you to do what the banks do. So I'm giving an example. Another safeguard that you need to do with your assets, your income, is you need to operate in the highest law of the land. Okay. So you have statutory law, you have federal law, but then you have common law. And this is where the people operate, the wealthy operate. So you have to ask yourself this question. It wasn't until the 1900s that you had the IRS and the Federal Reserve Bank were established, correct?
Yes, sir.
For 1900s. So, but 1776 is when the United States Corporation was founded, correct?
Yes, sir.
What were they doing from 1776 to the early 1900s? There was something going on. They were operating in common law, which is higher than the federal law and higher than state law. Now, I'm not going to spend I'm not going to really get into details about that, but being able to operate in trusts, diversified cash flow accounts, private reserve accounts, those kinds of things help you, and it also act as a tax shelter, right?
Mm.
So that's another way that you need to do it. And it also utilizes compounding. You're able to get compounding on your actual dollar, by utilizing these other tools wealthy use. And then, of course, you want to get into decentralized markets. If you want to, I look at it as hedging. You got to hedge for what's going on out here. So protecting your wealth, gold and silver is one thing. Operating in common law on the private side is another thing, right? And then being decentralized, being out here in the crypto markets. Personally, I think that that someone would be, if you didn't have a crypto portfolio, crypto in your portfolio, that you were doing yourself a disservice. All you got to do is look around and look at all these big banks, all these big corporations, these hedge funds that are investing in crypto to let you know that crypto is real. So,
now you mentioned a word, if I can cut in, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, and because I don't want to, I want our listeners to be able to understand some of the language that you're using, because a lot of people just don't want to be financially educated, but we want to keep it simple. We want to bring it down to a level, and this is not calling anyone, but hey, you see books in the store that say computers for dummies. You know what I mean? Electronics for dummies. And we all are ignorant to something, but you use the word hedge. And I want you to bring hedge to maybe something that a person will understand. I mean, I understand what hedge means, but I want the listeners to understand what hedge means and how do you hedge with gold and silver? What does this word mean? What is a person looking for hedging?
Well, to keep it simple, thanks for that. I get a little carried away here with my language, but to make it simplified, I look at it as a backup. That's just put it in layman's terms. Again, I'm not a financial advisor or certified financial planner, so and I'm glad I'm not, because I wouldn't be able to talk to people about gold if I was.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy, right?
But anyway, so yeah, that's it. So basically, as inflation increases, generally speaking, their asset that's a store of value, the only store of value with no third party intermediaries, anything like that, would be gold. According to the international bank of according to the BIS, right? Gold is the only tier 1 asset out there.
Yes, sir.
So we'd have to so you have to have that in your portfolio. In fact, in my opinion, for someone to be a financial advisor, a financial consultant, to look at all this quantitative easing, all this printing of money, what's going on around the world with the wars, the rumors of wars, and the way the whole system is changing, resetting, and all that, I think that somebody is irresponsible or I'd say naive at best if they're not advising people to store their wealth in something outside of this fiat currency that is losing value. This not even at 98%, is barely at 98% of its purchasing power from when it was first introduced into the system. So that's operating at 2% power. Why would anybody save that? Why would you hold on to that? It doesn't. Yeah. So
and that's even for a person's retirement or looking for the future in the US dollar. There's no control in any of those vehicles that most people are parking their life in. So that's good teaching, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. We're so grateful for all this great information you're bringing us. And I had to pause you for that moment because I want our listeners to understand. I don't want them to be afraid of financial literacy because it's the only life jacket there. And the great thing, the sad and great thing about it is it's simple. It's not rocket science. When you're talking to the financial advisors, once again, with all due respect, and I put them down because I've connected with some, and they just don't get it. They're playing golf. and they're going to come back to talk to their clients. They just don't get the gold right now. And I'm sorry to say that, you aren't the individual who did $300 million during the 2008 crisis. So I think that Mr. Robert Kiyosaki, it's not hard. Just don't do what the rich say, do what they do. This man did $300 million, where most millions of people lost homes, got put out, lost jobs during that crisis. So the next one, 2008, was just a speed bump for what's coming. So when we get information from an individual like Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, laws of wealth creation, asset protection, we don't need to take this information lightly, ladies and gentlemen. We need to take it seriously. And with that being said, I want to take a 30-second infomercial break. We're going to be right back with episode 10 with our great brother, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, laws of wealth creation and asset protection. We'll be right back. Here at A Rich Education, we understand the importance of financial literacy. And with the 14,000 hours of education given to us by the system, there was zero financial knowledge. And also sitting at the dinner table with our parents, they didn't teach us much about money. So with that being said, here at A Rich Education, we want to give you what's valuable for the current economy. And in uncertain times, call for smart financial moves. With high inflation, recession fears, and economic crisis looming, it's more important than ever to protect your hard-earned money. The way? Physical gold and physical silver. Gold has served as a trusted store of value for thousands of years. When other assets decline, gold holds its ground. Just look to history. During economic collapse, political unrest, natural disasters, those who own gold and silver were able to preserve their wealth. Today's global economy is on shaky ground. Out of control government spending, a troubled banking system, the threat of a new recession. Your savings and investments, your retirement face huge risk. But physical gold and physical silver in your possession can offer stability in stormy seas. As past crises have shown, those unprepared often see their nest eggs shattered. Retirement accounts once again demolished. Financial security gone in a blink. Don't let this happen to you. You can take control and protect your future with the proven power of physical gold and physical silver, and we have the answer. Whether it's gold bullion bars, beautiful gold coins, numismatic, or innovative new digital gold options, diversify your holdings with real physical gold and physical silver and small transaction-friendly weights. Guard against inflation, market volatility, and economic turmoil. Give your family lasting financial peace of mind. The winds of crisis are gathering, my great people. Destabilizing forces threaten your financial future. But you have the power. You have the power right now to take action. Protect your hard-earned money. Preserve your purchasing power. Provide your family's well-being. With physical gold and physical silver on your side, you can weather any storm and stay vigilant and stay protected. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to own gold today. I want to welcome everyone back to A Rich Education Podcast, episode 10, Laws of Wealth Creation and Asset Protection, with our great Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, I want to welcome you back. Oh, we're moving right along. So much value, so much impact. Just with this alone, if a person wants to change their life and work on it, they can do it. But once again, I always say this, and with my first episode, I had episode 1 with Miss Sally Murray, gold stacker, silver stacker, entrepreneur. She said that you could bring a horse to the water, but if they're not thirsty, you can't force them to drink it. So if you're not thirsty for wealth creation, if you're not thirsty to protect what you've been working hard for, this information is not for you, ladies and gentlemen. But things can change just like the days change, and we want you to make that change, because in today's time, ladies and gentlemen, everything else is obsolete. With the ever-evolving financial landscape, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, especially in the digital age, how do you see the role of technology in wealth accumulation and asset protection? What opportunities and challenges does this present?
It's a good question. there's an old saying that uh, mother necessity is the creative inventions or something like that. Basically, meaning that as things change, you have to change with the times and move forward, right?
Mm.
So at one time, this whole country was run by horses and buggies, right? Now you
Yes,
got
sir.
electric scooters, you got electric vehicles, you have gas vehicles, you have airplanes. So, you have to roll with the times. And so with the digital, with what's going on digitally, I mean, right now it's just a huge opportunity. Where it used to take us, you know, a few hours to get a message out. Now we can get it literally out real time. We can go live and get it out immediately right now.
Right.
Then with in terms of like technology like blockchain, the blockchain technology, which is transparent, it's open ledger, so that you can cut out the middleman, no more having to go to a bank to move your money around.
Yes, sir.
Having this open ledger, you can keep a track of every single transaction that's ever been done on there. Um, it has at this point, from my understanding, blockchain has not been cracked the code because the way blockchain is structured. You can't. There's so many pieces that come together to make one chain, one block, that it's a very difficult thing to compromise. So it's very good. I see technology being the wave of the future. This podcast here is getting the information to the people, and the people are getting some good information. And I'm really looking forward to. We're gonna get into these irrefutable laws as well. But that's how I see it happening. I see the technology that is just a better, a better mousetrap, so to speak. It's just better ways to do things. I remember back when the fax machine was all the rave. All the rave.
Absolutely. It was a big thing to use a fax machine. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
man, we had a bit fax machine back in the day. I mean, you were really doing something. But think about the reality. The first person who had a fax machine, who they going to send it to? Who they going to use it with? Nobody else had them, So my point is that it's easy to tell. I mean, digitally, because of the way the world is, and because of this new system coming out with CBDCs, there's no doubt that technology is going to have a serious impact on our way of life, period. But we can get on the right side of it and, utilize AI and all the other technologies that we have in order to kind of leverage those tools and to get better at bringing more value to humankind, so that you can make things better and have some value that you're added to people that makes them want to be a part of whatever you're doing. So that's how I see it.
Excellent. That's excellent. And I'm listening to a book called The Science of Getting Rich. And I want to go into what you said with the indisputable laws of wealth. I want to talk about a few of those. I want you to take us through a few of those. But one of the ways people can become rich today, and still in the same subject of AI, is becoming a creator. So when we look at things today, it's the ones that are creating things, but you can use AI to create, and it can take things away. So if you're thinking about becoming wealthy, I mean, along with the amazing information that we're getting from Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, but now we're going to go into the indefeasible laws of building wealth. We're going to talk about a few of those. If you want to just put some icing on the cake, you want to be that person who creates. And this is just amazing times that we're living in. And I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to get another chance at it anymore. This is the last time, ladies and gentlemen, in the history of the world that we're going to have the opportunity to take things to the next level for yourself, your family, and also put yourself in position, because many won't do so, but you want to give back and help others. So with that being said, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, please take us into some of these indefeasible laws of building wealth. I mean, give us a few, because time's moving and we're just having fun with this, but take us through some of these laws.
Yeah, so there's a bunch. So actually, I've personally identified about 15, right? But did a video not too many years ago about the top 10, right? So I'm just going to list them first and then kind of talk about them. So number one would be cash flow. Everything starts at cash flow, right? So you got to have income coming in so that you can do what you need to do with it, so they can grow. We can get to some velocity, so you can have the money growing for you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Number 2, business ownership. I'm gonna go down the list. I'm just gonna read them off first, and then we'll come back and talk about some of them very quickly. So cash flow, number 1, business ownership is number 2. Number 3 is asset leveraging. We talked about that quite a bit tonight. 4, being able to have tax savings, being able to reduce and almost eliminate your tax spending. Royalty or residual income, dealing in the e-commerce technology. That's the next one.
Yes, sir.
Outpacing inflation. So that's something that people take for granted, not understanding that if your raise is only 3%, but inflation is at more really like 4.5, really to be truth be told, more like 7.8, but we're not gonna get into that. But that's happening, then you're not going up, you're losing. You're below that. You had to be relevant and red hot trends. Like right now, you would be, if you went out and set up a Blockbuster video store, you wouldn't be open long because it's no longer a red hot trend, right?
Right. They used to be.
They used to be. The next one is acquire assets. So assets be appreciating assets or cash flow assets, right? And assets are things that put money in your pocket, doesn't take it out. So most people's homes are not assets because they're spending money on liability, but that's just not what they're taught, right?
Right.
The next one is to be international in scope. So being able to scale without being limited or bordering in one particular area, being able to scale and grow and develop it. And then I'm going to talk about compounding a little bit, about compound interest and how that's very important. It was said that Einstein said the 8th wonder of the world was compound interest. He who understands it, who doesn't understand it pays it. He who understands it earns it. So that's something to think about. So anyway, those are the top 10 irrefutable laws of wealth. There are others out there, guys. But I wanted to just kind of talk about 4 major ones out the gate just to make life easy.
Okay, absolutely, sir.
So I'm going to say business ownership, asset leveraging, right? I'm going to say business ownership, asset leveraging, royalty residual income, right? Red hot trends. I'm just going to talk about those 4, but they all kind of combine. It kind of takes the rest of them go into that, right? So the reason I'm going to say, I'm going to start with business ownership first, because this is important. People, they want to get out here, they want to get wealthy, but they think they're going to just save their way to wealth. Here's an interesting statistic. 97% of all the wealthy people on earth, right, are business owners. 97% of the wealthy are business owners. That tells you something. What are the other 3%? You have 1%, they might have inherited it, right?
Right.
For some people, that's not in their stars. They're not going to inherit wealth, right? The next person, they might be like high income, high paid entertainers or corporate folks, CEOs, or corporate folks, stuff like that, who are paid millions of dollars, stocks, stuff like that. And then lastly, the other 1% would be like lottery winners, right? But if 97% of the wealthy are business owners, you got to think about this. Okay, am I going to win the lottery? Am I going to be CEO of a major corporation? Maybe, maybe not. Am I going to get inheritance? If those 3 don't work for you, that's okay. Just go be a business owner, right? So be a business. Another thing that comes along with being a business owner is you have equity, you have ownership, right, in your company. So as you build your company up, you can literally get to the point where you build up so big that you sell it. You can sell it, right, cash out, and go live on the world, or you can continue to just build it and expand and make more cash flow. You also have tax advantages, because when you're a business owner, now you have certain write-offs. You have certain things that the tax laws are written for business owners, because a lot of people writing the tax laws are business owners. That's something to think about.
Right.
But, so that's that. So royalty residual income, do the work once, get paid on it over and over and over again. Your utility company, your Netflix, whatever you're using, they pay them once. I mean, they set it up once, you pay them over and over again. And then I'm gonna finish up with the last ones. I said e-commerce, basically technology, being able to be all over the world, and then red hot trends that speaks for itself. So people that got out here and got early with TikTok and Twitter or whatever, all these people, a lot of them who got involved early,
Yes, sir.
built some wealth. So that's all I want to say about that, man.
Man, that's good teaching, man. And I want you to explain, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, because people may shy away from being a business owner. But today, you can be a business owner with your smartphone, your laptop, and a system. You don't have to maybe create the business, but you can have an LLC. You can have an EIN number. These things can be done in less than 10 minutes, and then you can start a business. So just share with the audience, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, how simple it is. I'm not saying easy, because we have choices. Okay, it's not easy, but it's simple to get started, because we have some hearts to deal with. The heart of a country that's falling, okay, or the heart of starting your own business, but the simplicity of getting your own business started. And those are the ones that are going to win. The investor and the business owners are the ones that's going to win. But those who are, with all due respect, I don't want this to happen to the masses, but those who are hoping that their paycheck will be there on a weekly basis in this type of economy, it's just not going to happen. I mean, we see it happening in our face. We're just ignoring it. But speak on the simplicity of being a business owner in the new economy.
Okay. So right now, a person can be a business owner. They could do the traditional way. They can get a loan for millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars and go out there and take a lot of risk and go out there and see if they can make it work. Or they can do something like you said. They can have their cellular device. They can be an influencer out here, putting out content and then monetizing that content that way. They can get involved with, they can become an affiliate marketer or brand ambassador, meaning they could actually market other people's products that are bringing good value to the population.
Absolutely.
They can do that, and that's very simple as well. They can be a network marketing, which is a great business model. It looks like a franchise model, like a McDonald's or one of these other, Subway or something. But the beauty of it is that you get to be like the corporation itself. So you're not just selling burgers and fries and sandwiches. You're actually selling franchise stores. You're actually selling to McDonald's and getting a cut of that, like the corporation does. Only difference is this is on a networking level, and you can make the same kind of profit in network marketing as you would getting a $2 million, $2.4 million McDonald's corporation, and that's before you even sold one hamburger. So that you can literally do that. So yeah, it's very simple. It's just about what somebody wants to do. I mean, there are people out here, they set up, they got people, they do T-shirts. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. But being a business owner, one thing about looking at some of these other ways that we mentioned, affiliate marketing, influencer, brand ambassador, network marketing. Some of the things that's beautiful about those particular business models is you don't have the inherent challenges that you have doing it the other way, the traditional way.
Right.
There are three major things that keep people out of being successful in business. The first one is having enough capital. They don't have enough money to invest to keep it going, right? To reinvest. Secondly, they don't have the time right. Because you're so busy working a job 40 hours a week. You need to make additional income, 40, 60 hours a week. You need to make additional income. Now you're out here literally competing with other people who have the time, right? They have the money and the time, and you don't have that.
Right.
Really put work into it. And then the last one is the experience. If you, just because you make a very good hamburger or can cook a really good steak does not mean that you can go out here and compete in the restaurant business and think that you're going to be able to just compete with these other folks that have been doing it for years. Not saying that you don't have a good burger,
Right,
that's
right.
that's not the answer to be. I think most people that see this podcast are going to realize they can make a much better burger than some of these restaurants. I'm tired of giving these people free plugs, but
Right. Yes, sir.
they're selling billions of burgers worldwide, billions.
Right.
I mean, and it's not even, they're not even great burgers,
Not at
allegedly.
all.
Allegedly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm not bashing in these companies. But anyway, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. But those other business models, they're elegant because you can literally do it part-time for little money. Sometimes you can do it for free. And your time works out great. But here's the best part: you get to buy into a system, especially if you're doing affiliate and network. Is the people have already done the hard part for you, setting it up.
That's right.
You have to all you have to do is go in and just show what they're doing. So that's what I want to say about that. But yeah, it's real easy to be a business owner nowadays. But of course,
absolutely.
But it's good to team up with people that have had success and want to show you and how want to show you how to be successful, and that they're not going to get paid unless you get paid. That's another good thing you want to have working for you. So
absolutely, bro. Good teaching.
Yes, sir.
Good teaching, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, so much value packed this evening, this morning. I don't know. Tonight, late night. I don't know where you see. You could be in Asia. You could be in Africa. You could be in Europe. I don't know. You may be up there on Mars with those 7 feet tall individuals. I don't know where you're looking at this information from, but we got a blessing today, ladies and gentlemen, to be plugged in with Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. And I'm telling you, laws of wealth creation and asset protection. You got to look at it. The system is not teaching us this information. And this is important. And I know that we've been operating off information that's been downloaded with 14,000 plus hours of our life. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm letting you know this right here, this information is the answer. That's if you want to be free. That's if you want to thrive in these times. Because like I stated, we only have one more chance to make it happen, because like I always say in my videos, we're no longer in your granddaddy's economy or the Brady Bunch. So with that being said, we're going to take a 30-second infomercial break, and we're going to be right back with episode 10 with Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, Laws of Wealth Creation and Asset Protection. We'll be right back. Welcome everyone back to a Rich Education Podcast, episode 10, Laws of Wealth Creation and Asset Protection, with our great Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, mentorship and coaching play a significant role in personal and professional growth. How do you approach mentorship, and what kind of guidance do you usually provide to those seeking to excel in wealth creation?
Oh, that's great. Thanks for asking that question. So I put together a program called Wealthynomics. And Wealthynomics is basically teaching people all the kind of, it's a step-by-step guide to building wealth, right? No matter where you are in your life. And so the way the mentoring works with me, I have a coaching platform. And so I interview folks and kind of see if we're a good fit for one another. They ask me questions, I ask them some questions, and then we'll see if there's some alignment there and some synergy, right? And then once that has happened, we'll talk about a plan of action, and then we can start the process. But there's, I'm going to actually open it up to the general public. For the most part right now, most of my clients have come from people who have sought me out on the web or who are referred by other people. Uh, and that's a great program. But what I really was looking to do was to create a program that can be opened up to the general public and give the people the juice, give them the sauce, man, that took me years and years to get. And I don't understand. I don't come from the zero sum game paradigm. So I don't look at life as being a life full of lack. I think that we're in a world full of abundance and opportunity. And so I sincerely believe in the old saying that if you help everyone get what they want to get, you'll get everything you want to get. That's why I've had the successes I've had in every company I've ever partnered with. That's why I've had those kind of successes, because I really do pour into into folks, because it's a partnership. So that's why I look at mentorship and apprenticeship. I look at it as a partnership. I have mentors as well. I've invested in myself, which is the best thing you can invest in. In yourself, in terms of getting better. The late great Jim Rohn said, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better." Right?
Yes, sir.
So we have to continuously learn and grow. And I know because readers are leaders. I know that you're really big on education, a rich education. So that's what I'm really into. So I partnered with an organization, a team. I've been looking for something that could allow me to put all the pieces together for building wealth for anybody, right? And I'm so happy that I partnered with a company that's doing that. And I'm really looking forward to now kind of putting together those missing pieces so people doesn't matter where they are. If they're brand new, just out of high school, out of college, and just getting started, and don't have any real, significant income or wealth, to even if they're 7, 8, 9-figure earners, there's something for them with what we're doing here, because we're operating in that space where we're dealing with complex trusts and, like I said, diversified cash flow accounts and private reserve accounts, and getting into land banking and acquiring precious metals. So all these things come apart with apprenticeship and mentoring. But the first thing is realizing that you need to be mentored.
That's right.
You get that ego out the way. Sometimes ego keeps people in your head, but
it's going to crush a lot of people. Yeah.
I'm always learning, though. Always learning. So
that's good. Absolutely. Education is we learn until we die. I mean, you can't think, if you think you know it all, you've already lost, so you can just hang it up.
I wanted to say something about you mentioned, somebody said that you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Well, I always like to say, if you give them some salt, they'll drink. So how salty is your world right now? What does it hurt enough that you want to change your life and become wealthy? Or do you just want to sit by and just kind of be complacent? Which a lot of people are. Good is the enemy of greatness. People say, "No, I'm good." Yeah, but are you great though? Great, and that's what we need to have. We need to be great. And so, later for being good. Let's be great.
Let's be great. And great, ladies and gentlemen, you see Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. You see that website there. So that's a website that we need to be dialing, wealthynomics.com, because the information that he's dropped on us today, this is my brother that you need to be connecting to. Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, we've had such a wonderful evening. And as we bring this thing to a close, I wanted to just save this last question. And it's not one of the best questions that we had, because you brought so much fire. I hope everyone's taking notes. Look, rewind this, go back and see it on YouTube. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you're subscribing to this channel. Make a comment on this podcast and all of the other podcasts. But look, this here, laws of wealth creation and asset protection. Okay, so we're bringing subjects that we're not getting from, not calling you a fool, okay, the public fool system, because this is what it's producing. Anytime we don't understand what we're working for, anytime we don't understand the impact of inflation, anytime we don't understand taxes, how they now, the government or central banks, they printed so much fiat currency. How is that damaging you and my life? Your life, my life. How is that? How can we get away from that situation? We got it right here. Laws of wealth creation and asset protection. Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, looking ahead, what are your aspirations in the field of wealth accumulation and asset protection? Are there any up-and-coming projects or endeavors that our audience should be on the lookout for?
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you for that. So, of course, anybody can go to my website, wealthynomics.com. You can find me on IG as well at Success. Thank you, sir, for showing the book. Can we see it? Can we see it? In my book, Art and Science of Success, Volume 5. You know, we can get you some words, some few stories out of that book as well. I can be found, like I said, on IG at successful_Sergio. At TikTok is Doc Rozzelle, and some other places. But upcoming projects. So right now, I'm working, like I said, I partner with a company that's going out here and really showing people the answers to wealth creation. Have the experts actually work with you to show you how to put it together. And it's just really exciting. We're seeing people who are reducing their taxes, who are reducing their bills, who are restoring their credit, which, you know, some people say credit's bad, but, you know, it's if you don't understand how to use it, that's what makes a difference. Reducing their taxes. I think I mentioned that acquiring land, you know, putting themselves, they're reducing their mortgages, you know, and they're paying off their mortgages half the time earlier. And they're securing themselves, and they're literally protecting their assets now by storing it, having a wealth store of value, but also having that protected. So yeah, there's some things that we're sharing with folks. So that's the latest project I'm working on right now.
Yes,
My
sir.
goal is to help thousands of folks to achieve their wealth. Also, I have another book that's coming out shortly, and it's titled "Get Rich While Broke: A Step-by-Step Guide to Building Wealth Stuck at Your Job."
Wow, bro, that's
that
gonna be
was
fire. Yes, sir.
going to be released earlier before the worldwide health crisis, but we had to change some chapters because everything changed in this world today. Everybody started working from home now, so that was one of the things that was going to be in the book about how to work from home. But now everybody's doing it because the companies are laying people off now because AI is coming along. Okay, I'm not going to go down that road. And also, I have some lessons coming out on how to build wealth utilizing online marketing. That was my claim to fame, and there's some courses that I have coming out in the very near future. So right now, though, you can go to wealthynomics.com and put your information in there. You'll be added to my list, and of course, I'll reach out to you we can have a one-on-one conversation for anybody that looks into it, sir.
Oh man, it's been an amazing time. I really appreciate you sharing that with us, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. Ladies and gentlemen, so much value, so much just impactful information that can literally change a person's life if they digest it and move out on it. Because information is nothing. They say information is power. Yeah, it's power, but you got to act on it. It's not going to move you. You have to allow the number one asset that you have right between your two ears, absorb the information and take action. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle, anything you want to leave the audience with this evening, this morning? I'm not sure. It may be late night where the person's saying it from. Anything you want to leave us with today, sir?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to again salute you, Mr. Sanya, for a Rich Education podcast and all the work you're doing. And of course, I'm already subscribed, and I want to encourage everybody to subscribe to your YouTube channel, follow you on all the social medias. We've been working together for a while, and it's been a complete joy. Absolutely. And I want to say, it's been a pleasure to be here. I'm honored. Thank you for inviting me, and maybe hopefully people got something out of everything we shared tonight. Of course, we can only
Absolutely.
scratch the surface. There's so much more to share. So, everybody just keep learning. And I want to just go ahead and just say that success is voluntary and you deserve it. So I'm Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sergio Rozzelle. And I appreciate your time, sir. I'm going to give you a call. We're going to be touching base. And I'm always grateful. Send my blessings out to the family, sir. And I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks again for your time, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing show this evening. Laws of wealth creation and asset protection. It's just been amazing to have Dr. Sergio Rozzelle with us this evening. What an amazing book, too. And like I said, it's all about information, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about enhancing your brain. But once again, I can't make you change if you don't see that everything around you has changed. And the number one thing that has changed is what you're working for. And that's the U.S. dollar. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going into some serious times, but some great times. So no one's saying sit around, bite your toenails, bite your fingernails. No, I'm not saying that, but take action. Laws of wealth creation and asset protection. How are you protecting yourself? So some of the top individuals, I can even ask a millionaire. We got millionaires out here that are ignorant. Ignorant isn't a bad word. I'm ignorant to a lot. It just means lack of knowledge, but they don't know. So overnight, something can happen. The dollar could just do what all paper money has done in history. So I'm not making anything up. I'm not here to frighten you. History, like they say, history doesn't repeat, but it sometimes rhymes. Quote from Mark Twain. So what has history showed us? That every paper money, what people think is money, every fiat currency, every piece of paper has gone to its intrinsic value, which is zero. So you need asset protection. And we've talked about that this evening. Gold and silver is money. You could do what the rich do. While it's affordable, you can do what the rich do. And Dr. Sergio Rozzelle gave us that information this evening. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, like, subscribe to the channel, make a comment, tell me your dislikes or tell me your likes, okay? All of Dr. Sergio Rozzelle's information will be in the caption below, so I want you to check that out and connect with our great brother, all right? So like I always say, information, ladies and gentlemen, your life will be based off of the information that you have received and the information that you have rejected. So with that being said, episode 10, I'll see you in the next one. I want everyone to take care, take heed, and stay safe.
You're kind of down and humble beat. You did. We finna go in our bag on this one. Vibe with us. Anybody on the block, we gon' bring it to your door like knock. Entrepreneurs got the keys to the lockbox. On the road, we will not stop. Going in, bag. You gotta know we going in, bag. You did. In, bag. You gotta know we going in, in our bag like we giving y'all the product. Set up shop anywhere, do a pop-up. A lot of people show fake love, but not us. All praises due to Allah, He got us going in our bag. You gonna know what we going in our bag. You did. In our bag. You gonna know what we going in You did. Every day we in our bag earning our leisure. My hit brother Ben X and 19 keys up. Having high level conversations so we can read ya. We don't even need them, they need us. Cause we in our bag. You gonna know what we going in going along just to get along. We trying to educate the hood and put the city on. If you ran through the money, boy, you did it wrong. Do it for the love, bad boy, Sean Diddy Combs.